Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, Sigil here and welcome back to another video. We're going to do an all artifacts tier list again. Last time I did this, we did not include the on ice artifacts. This time I'm gonna do that with them as well. I did postpone this video a lot because I was waiting for the next soul raid so we can get everything out of the way faster, but it doesn't seem to be coming anytime soon as it seems. So we're going to get this done. We're gonna have this in parallel to the tier list, which is a page, an official page that explains the effects of all the artifacts, so you guys can get familiar to what we're talking about, and in case I forget what some artifact does, because there's a lot of them, we're going to look at that. The tiers are going to be the following: insane artifacts that are absolutely very strong and insane. They are going to be good artifacts, artifacts that are good, situational artifacts, artifacts that you're not going to use every single fight, but you're going to be very happy when you can use them because they're very useful. I'm gonna explain a little bit more in depth when it comes to the artifacts I put in here. The lesser option, artifacts that wouldn't be too bad of an artifact, but there's simply a better version of that artifact that you can use, and then straight up trash artifacts. And yeah, I'll only keep in mind for the most part solo raids, a little bit of league raids here and there. Arena and Champions Arena, you're gonna be fine without artifacts for the most part. And I will not care about artifacts being paid to win in this list because it doesn't help anybody. I could go and like take Beta Club and trash because it's the most pay to win artifact in the game. You guys would go clap, but it wouldn't help anybody, and the random person gets this random artifact from a soul ray drop. I've seen it happen. Watches this list, shatters Beta Club, doesn't help anybody. The only situation where I will keep in mind if an artifact is pay to win or not is if it has a counterpart that's free to play to get, and that artifact is better or just as good. So yeah, let's get into it. First up, we got the knit mill armor. I mean, I'm gonna put it at lesser option. I guess you can use it for some health in some situations, mainly Arena and Champions Arena. It doesn't matter too much, it gives you some health. Nah, I'm gonna put it at trash actually. I've never seen anybody actively using this, and you'll always have better options. Like Father's Box is just such a better artifact if you want tankiness in Arena and Champions Arena. Regen Matrix. Regen Matrix is actually a situationally good artifact. This is gonna be able to revive a character after it dies, as simple as that. Now, I know we have Nora Snow Globe, and you might be like, oh, but put it a lesser option because Nora Snow Globe does far better job and revives you. Sometimes I want to use Regen Matrix instead of Nora Snow Globe for the revive, because with the Nora Snow Globe we're going to get a clone tagged in, and that clone is not going to be healthy, and I've gotten to points where I would literally get my character killed because the clones would get instantly killed on tag-in, and it was just spiral out of control. With Regen Matrix, you just get what it says on the artifacts. Character revives, you can even knock down the enemy upon revival. Very reliable artifact when you need to tank a super move that you know for a fact that your characters could not tank. Cosmic Staff, trash. I mean, it can be good in defensive teams in Champions Arena, but I don't really care, to be fair. Gives you a shield after you lose a certain amount of HP, but you kind of need that shield before you lose the HP for it to be useful. Claw Forest, this is actually going to be situational. This is going to be a very good artifact when you're facing fights that have super shields and you don't have many other ways to deal with them. If this was a pay-to-win artifact, I would put it in lesser option because we have better pay-to-win options compared to this, but this is most likely what most of you guys will have access to, so put it in situational. Stuns the enemy, while they're stunned they can't use super shield, that's as far as it goes. All Blades, situational also. This used to be a very good artifact, but the problem is right now, you know what's the situation with this artifact? The situation with this artifact is that you don't have Dark Metal cards. That's the situation where it's situational use. And I guess some teams in League Raids still kind of use it if you don't have other artifacts, but yeah. This is by far not one of the top picks since we have Dark Metal cards. Amulet of Agility, more dot damage, trash. Just get more attack and you're gonna have more dot damage. Then we have the Amulet of Might, absolute trash. I mean, this is in terms the lesser option, but is very much the lesser option. Anything you could picture that gives you damage is gonna give you more damage than this gives you on basic attack hits. Amulet of Metahuman, I'm gonna put it at situational yet again. This is gonna give you healing improved for the entire team by being equipped on a character, and this can be useful in combination with Firebox, in Dawn of Apocalypse Soul Raids to increase the healing, and in another few situations. Then we have the Amulet of Arcane, gonna give you more damage on abilities. Damage on abilities is not calculated in your favor in this game, so it's gonna give you trash damage. So goes into trash. We have the Take Amulet, gives you some health, less health than the Neat Armor, so also trash. Then we have the Dawn of Apocalypse artifacts. Here we go. So first up, Fatherbox. They're in the order of the Soroid release, by the way. Fatherbox is gonna be a situational artifact. Like, I really don't feel it's up to par with the artifacts that are gonna be on the highest tiers. It's gonna be the best artifact for dealing damage in Dawn of Apocalypse, mostly, for most teams, and it's gonna enable infinite combo on Dr. Fate and Grodd and a few other characters. It is decent, but you're very rarely gonna find yourself using it outside of Dawn of Apocalypse. Art of Darkness is gonna give you health, gonna steal some healing from the opponent, gonna give you some power generation when the enemy crits on you. Overall, defensive artifact. You're not gonna use it on Dawn of Apocalypse because you got the Firebox. This is basically a defensive artifact for Arena and Champions Arena, and we got so much better options than that. So I'm gonna put it at lesser option, honestly, especially because it's pay to win. Next up, we have the rods. Now, actually, let's get them in the order here. Entropy. So Entropy is going to cap the damage that you take, allowing you to tank the super move of Darkseid and Dawn of Apocalypse and other super moves, I guess, and at the same time make you take reduced dot damage and immunity to hazard secondary effects, which means power drain. Hazards are the stuff that's on the ground, basically, so Entropy is gonna also be situational. Then we have Electro Axe is gonna generate some power for you when you KO an opponent, and it's gonna give more damage against summons. This is gonna be just the lesser option yet again. Like, for power generation, we have so much better artifacts. For killing summons faster, just put artifacts that give you more damage in that situation. Then we're going to have the Radiant, excuse me. This is going to decrease the defense of the enemy with swipes, and it does a few other things, but more damage on ranged attacks, that's garbage. But for defense reduction, it's yet again gonna be the lesser option. The better option is gonna be an artifact that's as well pay to win. I mean, the Dawn of Apocalypse artifacts, you can get them in theory from the artifact chest that was a few days in the store, but that comes around so rarely, and they're not really good enough to be worth buying that chest for them. So I'm not really gonna consider them on the free-to-play side of things necessarily because of that. They're just too bad to be worth buying from that chest for the most part. None of them are must-have, and the Mega Rod. The Mega Rod is going to make you basically power steal the enemy when they should be power draining you. So that's very useful. The part where it gives you more damage on specials is not that useful. If you have this at level 10, it's gonna be situationally good. If you don't have it at level 10 or higher level, not gonna be that great. Moving on, Rise of Krypton artifacts. So let's start from here. Kryptonite bullets, more chance. Gives you 100% chance to drain 3 power bars on ranged attacks, and you are going to get more damage with specials against opponents with certain amount of power bars. This kind of tries to give you power generation and damage, and it sucks at both of them. Trash. We got the Kryptonite gloves. It's gonna give you more damage on basic attack hits, and it's going to give you more damage reduction on blocking. It's gonna give you some damage, but it's just a lesser option compared to other stuff, especially to Rise of Krypton damage dealing artifacts. We have then the Kryptonite Knife, which is gonna give you some crit chance on basic attack hits and some crit damage. Oh boy, wish I had that on my build, and only on basic attack hits. Damn, what about the specials? This is filler trash. Next up, Kryptonite Ring is gonna give you a chance to disable opponent's specials on opponent's super move, excuse me, on third special, and give you some power generation. I'm gonna put it at, I guess, situationally useful, because it can be situationally useful on Rise of Krypton at high level, and also, nah, I'm gonna put that trash. It simply doesn't give you enough to be worth upgrading, because this is gonna be good at level 10, until level 10 is gonna be very unreliable, and god forsake you have it at level 9 against a fight that will one-shot you with super move, and you hit that 5% chance to not disable super move. Nah bro, I don't like this artifact. What else do we have here? Um, Maleto's power source is gonna give you a chance to resist stuns and dots, gaining 3 power bars when the resist happens. And we're going to get some damage accumulated and dealt back. The other part is useless. The part where you're going to... it's basically copy-paste of the Mega Rods. In other words, it's from some points better, from some points worse than it. I'm gonna put it also at situational, though yet again you need to have it at kind of level 10 at that point. I feel like I should put both of them at lesser option. I don't feel like they're on par with the other artifacts in here. Yeah, let's just put them at lesser option for now. We have the Flashing Blade. Is gonna give you a boost for each buff that the enemy has. I'm gonna tell you a little bit of a secret. The enemies in Injustice Immobile very, very rarely buff themselves. This is trash. I have this artifact, it barely does anything. Astro Harness also, I kind of forgot about this one, is gonna give you some damage on tag, and this could be very useful in Arena and Champions Arena because you're going to do basically shoot a laser beam when you tag in, and that can finish fights very, very quickly. But you're going to get your account banned, possibly if you use this in Champions Arena. I've heard of that happening, they still haven't fixed the bug. Trash. Beta Club, gonna give you some dot damage based on how much damage deal on basic attack hits. By far the best artifact in the game, insane. It has some crazy synergies with some characters, can give you a ton of damage, the most pay-to-win artifact by far. LexCorp Warsuit is gonna be situationally good. Gives you armor pierce, gives you a decent shield, gives you some defense, some health. Gonna be useful against Bar Superman, though not mandatory, and also gonna be good in Arena and Champions Arena, I guess. Kryptonite Spear. So Kryptonite Spear is gonna basically heal you a bit, which is nice but not mandatory, and also is going to allow you to have unblockable specials if you bypass a certain combo, which is another way to bypass super shields alongside the Flow of Forest. They're both free to get, so you're going to eventually get both of them. We're done with Rise of Krypton. Moving on to the Advent of Chaos. So Crown of Horns is gonna give you some chance to resist power drain and also some special damage. This is hot garbage. Where is it though? Oh, there it is. This is just trash. You simply have so much better artifacts if you want damage, and so much better artifacts if you want to bypass the certain power draining debuffs. We have the Book of Souls, or how I like it to call it, the Book of Shit. This is going to basically give longer debuffs upon the enemy, and along the time men of culture have asked themselves, can this be useful? Can I put this on my Arkham Knight Batman to extend my stuns? Can I do that stuff? Yes, you can. Yes, you can, definitely can do that. You can put it on Arkham Knight Batman to have longer stuns, so Harley can do more damage, but problem is, the only place where you would have done that in the past would be Dawn of Apocalypse, because in the other scenarios you'd be better off having an artifact for passive stats for that soul rates. And now for Dawn of Apocalypse you're gonna have Dark Mail cards instead of it, so I can finally, without a shadow of a doubt, put it in the trash tier. Ace of Wincesters is gonna give you chance for ranged attacks to be armor pierce, chance for ranged attack to be unblockable, and damage to an opponent with health below 50%. Trash. I'm sorry, I tried to give the benefit of the doubt to this artifact in the past, but the damage just is not there. Also, I think I'm gonna put this at trash as well. I mean, at the end of the day, this gives simply damage on basic attack hits, and you're just gonna do better from so many points of view with our artifacts, it's almost no point in using it. Okay, what else? Ring of Azar. Decrease damage from incoming specials, that's useless. Chance to gain 4 power bars after blocking a special. This is lesser option. You can, if you randomly drop this, you can put it on a combo builder and generate power here and there. There are far better ways to generate power with artifacts, but I guess if you randomly get this, you might as well use it at some point. Then we have the... Wait a minute. Oh, that's not the Dawn of Apocalypse. What's this? Is this I think this is a Dark Metal artifact. My bad. They're all purple. But yeah, back to those artifacts. We got the Philosopher's Stone, chance to mitigate additional 30% damage from specials while blocking and heal by a percentage of the mitigated damage. Useless on damage dealers and combo builders, generally speaking, don't really need healing. They're gonna be fine. And also this is obviously in the Dark Metal artifacts place, but yeah, this is trash. We have Sword of Sin, inflicts burning on specials and constantly power drains the enemy. This artifact is going to be good. No, actually insane. Like, I really want to differentiate between Sword of Sin and Sword of Salvation, because I personally think that Sword of Sin is a far better artifact than Sword of Salvation, even though Sword of Salvation is great. So I'm gonna give it insane tier. You have no idea how useful this artifact is. Like, this is not an artifact you're gonna use in every single fight. Like, that's not gonna happen. You might not even use in 6 fights. That's not gonna happen, but when you need it, it's gonna be there for you. Power drains. This makes the fight so safe and so easy when using Raven to set up darkness for somebody. This makes fights where the enemy is going to get super move and one-shot you very easy to deal with. This makes fights with defense very easy to deal with, because you don't have to introduce a different character like classic Superman and mess up your team composition. The possibilities for this artifact is useful are simply endless, and I'm just so glad and blessed that I have it on my main account. I'm gonna keep it at insane tier. Just worth mentioning, is not better than Beta Club by any means, but I feel like it's worth it here. Candle of Neron is gonna disable one of your random specials and give you some damage to the other specials. Trash. You don't want to rely on gambling for damage, and yet again you have so much better options for damage. You have the Chakra. Lesser option. You're gonna upgrade this most likely for passive stats, but the active effect of it does nothing in 99% of the scenarios. The only place where the active effect is useful that heals you a bit, the damage part is almost not there, but it heals you a bit when you get below a certain threshold, when you use a special. The only place where that's useful is specifically in Advent of Chaos, where I'm putting this on for passive stats against fights that have Chaos tag in and damage me too much. And that's not useful. Then we have the Trigon Power Staff. I'm gonna put this at situationally useful. I feel like this is the best tank artifact in the game. Simply the best tank artifact. There's also the icon suit that we're gonna talk about. But what this basically does is you're going to block a special and you're going to get a shield equal to a certain percentage of your max health, and you're going to get constantly healed from that shield while reflecting back to the enemy. This is useless in raids and soul raids, but he gives you highest amount of passive stats for Advent of Chaos. But this is the best artifact for survival out of all the artifacts. Arguably, we're gonna have another one that's a good contender for that point. I think it's worth the situational tier. We have the Ace. Wait. No. This gun. This is a different gun. This is in Dark Knight Soul Raids. And we have this Sword of Salvation. This is gonna give you a chance to power steal from the enemy, and you're going to get more damage based on the amount of power bars that they're missing. The damage is fine, but it's not gonna be better than Dark Metal card, so you're most likely never gonna use this for dealing damage. The power steal is great. It's gonna power generate for you a lot. It's gonna be very useful, but at the same time, I'm not really using it outside of Advent of Chaos that much, because I'd rather have passive stats than have the power steal. In most teams, you're kind of used to a gameplay where you don't need more power bars than they anyways play with. Don't get me wrong, this is gonna be a good artifact. Definitely a good artifact, but if I was to choose between Sword of Sin and Sword of Salvation to like keep one and shatter the other, I would definitely keep Sword of Sin. I feel like this is mandatory and this is convenient to have, but this is mandatory. Any other artifacts? Okay, moving on to the last contract. Rocket Boots, 100% chance for tagging to be unblockable and have 150% increased damage. And you're not gonna have the 100% chance unless you're level 10. This is one of the most dogshit artifacts in the entire game. It doesn't get worse than this. Prometheum Nunchucks is gonna give you some fast attack damage, and also a chance to block opponent's power generation for 8 seconds with successful fast attack hits. I've seen this used to a decent extent in phase 4 in like league raids. I'm gonna give it lesser option. I don't feel like this is gonna be the best artifact anywhere. I don't feel like you have to have this artifact, but it can be decent if you already have it. Um, what else do we have here? The Prometheum Knife, lethal attack chance for basic attack hits and lethal attack damage for basic attack hits. In theory, it sounds great for any character in the game to be able to access lethal attack damage, but I haven't seen this ever use that good potential, so I'm gonna put that trash. Might be a worth lesser option, but you just got so much better options. We have Prometheum Grenades. Applies blind for 8 seconds, but only for the specials, and is going to increase random special something. Nah, bro, trash. You're not gonna need this at any point. It's Shatter on Sight type of artifact. Says it does a lot, but it doesn't do much. Then we have Energy Lens. It's gonna have a chance to apply a stun on a special, and it's also going to have a chance to crit on a special. Excuse me for that one. Okay, so where do we put this? I think I'm gonna put that lesser option. It does something, it stuns the enemy, so that way you're going to be able to have yourself, let's say, a smooth gameplay with certain teams. But there are just far better options for that. Let me mute my phone actually, so we no longer get disturbed by it. There we go. What else do we have here? The Legacy Helmet, blocking incoming special decreases the opponent's damage by 20% for 30 seconds, that's up to 5 times. Chance for specials to cast no power, this is absolute trash, filler artifact, doesn't really do anything that you need it to do. Prometheum Sword, this is gonna give you more damage on basic attack hits, barely gives you any damage, not worth even looking at, trash. What else? Speed Force Battery. Attempt to apply a negative effect on the wearer. That 15 seconds buff prevents negative effects from being added. This is gonna be a lesser option. Kind of works similarly to the LexCorp Warsuit, but I feel like the LexCorp Warsuit is just so much better than it. It does something. It keeps you from getting debuffed, but you don't really need it. The Icon suits, when your health drops below 25%, become invulnerable for 15 seconds with a 30 seconds cooldown, and when you take dot damage you get healed. This is yet again a very strong defensive artifact, so I'm gonna put it as situational. You don't have to have this artifact, but this is good if you already got it. And then the God Killer. Situational. Like, look, this is gonna be kind of the Firebox variant of the Prometheum artifacts. Good artifacts, actually kind of the best out of the bunch of artifacts that we got here. But it's not gonna do much outside of the last contract. Some people might use it for infinite combos, I don't find it reliable, and I'm missing out a lot of damage by not using Dark Metal cards instead of it, so nah, bro. Okay, let's move on to the Dark Knight's artifacts. We have here the Sharp Tongue. Damage taken from specials transformed into dots and more damage over time. Trash, just get something that gives you more damage in general and you're gonna be so much better off. I'm gonna be merciless with those artifacts, by the way, because the best artifact out of those is the free to get artifact, and it's absolutely insane artifacts. We have the Ripticle. Is gonna give you unblockable on basic attack hits after blocking a special, and it's gonna give you damage while the effect is active. Trash. It's just inconvenient gameplay for less damage than you would get from other sources, so nah, bro. You have then the Catchy Hook. Every attack blocked by the wearer increases the team damage by 20% for 12 seconds, stacks up to 10 times. Every portion of damage taken by the wearer increases the defense. I've never really seen this used in a very decent way. I don't see it as a must-have artifact. I don't know, might be good. I'm gonna put it at a lesser option for now. Might be wrong about this one. We'll see. If you have any footage of this artifact being used, make sure to show it to me. You are going to have a chance to get your damage increased by a bit. You're basically playing Russian roulette with this artifact against the gun. Chances are you're going to get a damage increase, but you might also get the damage decrease. And also some crit chance. I like the concept of this artifact very much, but it's going to be a trash artifact, I'm sorry. What else do we have here? Targaryen Mace. Gonna give you some more damage per amount of defense that you have, and also gonna give you some defense. Lesser option gives you damage, that's as much as you need to know, but you have far better ways to get damage. Namely, the free to get artifact from this soul raid. What else? Jokerized Batarang. Jokerized Batarang are going to be a good artifact. Not going to be on the Beta Club or sort of Sin level, but they're going to be a very good artifact. Puts you at 4 fast stack hits and gives you more damage if you inflict debuffs on the enemy. On basic attack hits. Not really on basic attack hits, but based on the damage on basic attack hits. You're just going to deal more damage to it. Works on similar characters that do well with Beta Club, they just do better with Beta Club normally. Manta has a field day with this artifact. This is the best artifact for Manta, hands down. What else do we have here? Jokerized Venom is gonna give basically an increase in defense and damage reduction after tagging, and when that's maxed out, you're going to get a chance for the opponent to fail. This would have been a decent artifact if the debuff that you inflict on the enemy that gives them a chance to just straight up shield themselves and not do a special and lose all the power for it would remain on the enemy, but not, it's only for the character that wears this artifact. As soon as the character tags out, the poison effect disappears, so trash. Hand of Zatanna is gonna give you more damage against opponents that you're going to chain, and the chain effect is gonna be applied with specials, and it's gonna disable their basic attacks and swipe attacks. That sounds useful, that sounds great, that gives damage. Lesser option is the best I can give. This artifact results in horrendous gameplay. This is another example of them putting something into the game without testing how exactly it works. Because this artifact, what it does while you apply the chained debuff on the enemy is it makes them spam specials, because the enemy is like, oh, I can do normal hits, I can't do swipe downs or jump attacks, I can't block, well, I'm just gonna do specials out of nowhere and just spam that. I hate this artifact in practice. Next up we have the Black Kryptonite, which is gonna give you a free special after 20 hit combo, which is not useful. You're gonna avoid breaking the combo meter, just don't get hit and that will not break. And the chance to save combo upon... Nah, bro, this is trash. This is absolute trash. I think at some point I had a debate with someone that said, oh, this is actually decent because you get to keep the combo. Nah, bro, you're wrong. This is trash. Thinking this artifact is good is dumb. Moving on, Dark Metal cards, insane. Gives you guaranteed crits. Gives you a chance to bypass crit resistance and crit immunity. And also gives you additional crit damage bypassing the damage cap. And all the passives without the more crit damage applies to any character that sits on the area, not only for the wearer. The best damage dealing artifact for the free-to-play side of things, and very useful for the pay-to-win side of things as well. Insane artifact, absolutely insane artifact, and it is free. Okay, and moving on to the Cryo artifacts, those ones I barely have any idea what they do, because I took a look at them when they released. I saw that all of them were garbage for the most part, and yeah, let's take another look. Pure Serum, 20% of max health healed over 5 seconds after any hero is knocked out. Oh boy, very useful there. Damage over time resistance, stun resistance, lesser option, just because it has dot and stun resistance. It's the only thing that keeps it out of the trash tier. Nah, actually I'm gonna give it trash tier, I don't care. Cryo Battery. Chance to power lock for 4 seconds on successful special. And you're also gonna get some power generation. Trash. Not even worth lesser option. You don't need those things. You absolutely don't need those things. You don't need to occupy a slot of artifacts with those things. And it has the lowest possible amount of passive stats. High-tech red goggles. A chance to apply blind for 14 seconds after successful special. And crit chance against blinded opponents. Useless trash. Why do I need to blind my opponents? No thank you. I'm good, bro. And I can put crit on my build, bro. I don't need crit from this artifact. Cryogenic Hand Shield. 50% chance to apply freeze for 3 seconds. Every successful third hit. And also steals 2 power bars upon freezing the enemy. I guess lesser option or situational, whatever. I don't see myself using these artifacts. I simply don't. There are far better options for both free-to-play side of things and pay-to-win side of things. I don't care about freezing the enemy. I don't care about stealing power bars from them that much. And this is gonna be very, very unoptimal at lower level, by the way. You need this at very, very high level to be useful and actually apply its effects properly. So nah, bro. Next up we have the Cryo engine, a chance to do unbreakable on successful special for 10 seconds. It's basically a buff that you get unbreakable for 10 seconds after you do a special. Again, this chance is going to be so much lower at lower levels of this artifact. And while unbreakable is active, you're going to ignore damage from basic attack hits and ranged attack hits. Basically the poor man's combo interruption. Just combo interrupt and use a better artifact that gives you more damage, and also power generation when under unbreakable. I guess situational you could use this if you get it, but nah, bro. Just combo interrupts. Freeze grenades, you're going to have a chance to apply Snowstorm on basic attack hits. Snowstorm removes the opponent's positive effects. That's kind of useless because the opponents barely gets at any point positive effects and it's never a priority to remove them. It's gonna give you more attack against affected by Snowstorm targets, which is bad. Attack is a bad stat to get. You want at the very least damage, and at best case scenario damage against targets. Chance to apply freeze for 4 seconds after a successful special. That's not particularly useful either. I guess lesser option. Borderline trash. I don't know, man. You know what? I'm being too lenient with those artifacts that if you think about it, you're never gonna use them in any way, shape, or form, and are only useful at high level. Just get down in the trash tier. What are you even doing there? What else? The robotic spider is gonna give you a chance to remove hazards by stepping on them. This is gonna be actually situationally useful. Kind of the better artifacts on ice sorrates. If you randomly get it, you don't have to have it, but if you randomly get it. Then we have the polar slippers. I love this artifact in terms of how it looks. Sadly it doesn't do much. Unhittable after tag in. And also gives you a little bit more unhittable on tag in. The more you tag in. Nah, bro. Trash, I'm sorry. I love the look of this artifact. Wish I had polar slippers in real life. We have the thermal gloves, gonna give you more damage against burning targets, and also is going to apply burning on targets. As far as damage goes, better options. As far as burning the target goes, better options. Lesser option overall. And Nora's Snow Globe is going to be insane because it is going to revive your character after they die. It's gonna summon clones which have access to percentage hull damage from Deathstroke and Conflant Sakumen. This is absolutely insane for free-to-play. Triples the damage of Conflant Sakumen and Deathstroke, and also heals you, gives you a bit of damage, gives you a bit of everything. And yeah, looking at this, I think I'm fine with this tier list. For the most part, you could argue about the artifacts that are from lesser option to trash, swap them in between. At that point, I don't care. I honestly don't care about all those other artifacts here. I'm just happy that everything here is the way it should be, I think. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you do or do not agree, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye!